the sound.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing? Thanks for being
Happy
on
Friday.
the Producers Club today. I have the honor of having Jamie Austin. I love the name, Jamie Austin.
Yes, I would be the bionic spawn.
Yes.
If Steve Austin and Jamie Summers had a kid, I would be the bionic spawn, which is one of my handles on one of my Instagrams.
Yeah, just there's a good flow to it. I just love it. As I was coming into the office this morning, I was constantly repeating, Jamie Austin, Jamie Austin.
From Dallas, Texas. People think Dallas.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a title I ended up getting. Jamie Austin from Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, so awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in
Absolutely.
on a Friday morning to have a candid conversation.
Yeah, I love it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You just said that you're not originally from California.
No, I was originally from Texas. I'm a Texas girl.
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny when I moved out here. People were like, "You're not from here. You're too nice." So, but I came out here originally in the entertainment industry. I was an actor, stand-up comedian, improver for 26 years. Yeah, came out here with SAG after Equity Card.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, I was like, I don't want to be poor when I'm older. So I think I've got to figure a plan B that would really kind of make me feel good. And I got my real estate license, and that was 23 years ago, and I've never looked back.
Amazing. 23 years.
Yeah.
So you've seen it all.
I've seen a lot, that's for sure.
So what was one of the biggest challenges or obstacles in the very beginning of your real estate career?
I think probably for me, I was so impatient to be so good. And I was always a very good student, and I studied, knew the test, I passed with flying colors, and then you realize that doesn't educate you.
Yeah.
What educates you in this industry is experience and over time, because no deal is the same.
Yeah.
And if they had told me that, I mean, I still would have done it,
Right.
but I think I probably would have been a little more forgiving of myself in the beginning, because I was such a freak about learning the contracts, which I'm shocked at baby agents these days that don't bother to learn them.
Yeah.
I was so afraid of making a mistake to ruin my license or something like that. I just dug right into learning the contracts like crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that was not a mistake. That was one of the best things I did. And the other thing is just not realizing it does take time to get.
Absolutely. It's so funny, Jamie, because that's something that it's one of my core beliefs. Learn contracts, learn negotiations, and learn objection handling.
Absolutely. Well, we're brokers, right?
Yes.
So I got my broker's license, and I was like, I knew it. I knew it. Learn the contracts, keep yourself out of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. So it must have been an easy transition communicating with people, being in the industry that you were prior to real estate.
Yes, I know how to talk to people for sure. But there is really a method to the madness of learning a very crafted conversation that sounds natural, but that is geared towards really discovering and in being in curiosity about your clients.
Sure.
So a lot of people think just because I talk well, I can do this business, no problem.
Right.
But no, when they say you learn scripts, there is a reason. I mean, definitely learn them and then make them your own.
Sure.
But if you'll notice, all the top coaches all over, there's a real strategy to the quote casual conversation that's supposed to look effortless, but it is a skill set.
Absolutely. 100%. You and I have that same background. Early in my career, we didn't have the technology. So we had to literally learn everything.
Yep.
And not to take away from technology, which is enhanced, we are more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But I still believe in the basics.
Oh my gosh, yes. I've mentored a lot over the years.
Yeah.
The very first thing I say is, I'm like, if you don't know how to explain the contracts, you are literally putting yourself and your client in jeopardy.
Right.
So bar none, if you don't have any deals going on, learn the contracts. Take 2 a night, read them front to back, and know them like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
That will save you. Not only that, but that also gives you a level of confidence when you are explaining the contracts to people, and that's your fiduciary responsibility, right? So if you can do that, it adds a level of confidence so much faster than people going, well, I'll just hire a TC right away. And I'm like, yeah, no, if you get in trouble, the DRE is not going to say, oh, it was your TC's fault.
That's right.
They're going to go to you.
Right.
And if you can't really justify how you mess that up, then,
Right.
that's where you're like not doing great.
And I know that from personal experience. I deal with a lot of different situations, and a lot of DRE investigators reaching out.
Oh my God. I was the broker of my office for 5 years. God love you. You are amazing at it. I did it for 6 years, and then I was like, it was like lawsuit walking by. Well, I was just like, it's a lot.
It is.
And you try to educate them, and there's like some people that are so willing to learn and
Sure.
grow, and then others are like, I'll just, I'll get to that later
Yeah.
or something. So I admire you, and you've always been amazing for this office. Great. We're so lucky to have you. I did not have the patience for it after 5 years. I was like, I'm done.
Love that. So what made you get your real estate license?
Well, I think, like I said, it was like the entertainment industry shifted from film, actual film, which was very expensive.
Right.
So I showed up knowing lines, ready to go, like knowing how expensive it was. And then they switched to digital. So then it was more, the whole industry shifted to not really needing the skill.
Right.
Because they could just fix it and post and do over and over and over. So it became not expensive to do. So I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if that leaves me in a place of like, it's harder to realize the dreams. And honestly, I got tired of driving every day to and from, back and forth in LA. Just like the traffic was it was killing me after a while. It was taking a little bit of my soul.
Sure.
So I was like, I have always loved real estate. I've always been around it my whole life. And I thought, that's something I think I could live with. And so I got my license, and I was really happy I did.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. I'm still kicking.
Yeah, I love that. So when was the transition when getting your sales license and then you decided to get your broker's license? I'm curious to know about that.
It was really funny. I have to kind of credit my husband.
Okay.
He like he was working for Raytheon, which is right. So he worked for Raytheon for many years, but he had a side gig of SEO optimization for real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, he goes, you're the face, you do this, but what if we got a broker's license and we could work together? I needed a broker's license to partner with him.
That's right.
And I was like, you know what? I've always thought about getting it because I'm always down for learning more and being better at what I do. Right. So I was like, I think I'm going to do it. And I did it. And I just did not look back. And that's when there was a position at Keller Williams. That's how I switched to Keller Williams.
Interesting.
They needed a broker. And I was like, look, I'm a baby broker, but I'm good. And I learn fast.
Yeah.
So they actually gave me an opportunity, and it was great because I slid right into like getting to actually utilize all the training for the broker's license. And it was amazing. And it was hard. It was one of the hardest things that how much it takes to keep the broker's license up and running. But man, is it great because I love the more knowledge. It's just deeper and takes it to the next level. So I also know that I'm servicing my clients at a higher level as well.
100%. It's so funny, Jamie, because Keller Williams gave me that opportunity. Originally, I was only the broker of record, and I've never ran a large real estate company. So when I took on the role, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
That was me
but
too.
Thank goodness. The stuff that I've learned throughout the years has really given me the skill sets, the confidence, and the ability to de-escalate situations. And I think back, it's like, wow. When I got into this, I was clueless. I didn't know. I was scared. I didn't know if I was going to do or say something wrong.
Yeah.
But now I can tackle on any tough situation.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Right.
And that's who I see you as well.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm not scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. There's a solution. And I think also that education is also like
100%.
need to understand like it's not brain surgery we do, right?
Right.
But you have to have a level of care.
Right.
And like you really, I mean, to me, I take it very seriously, and I always have, just because it's my livelihood, and I really take my license very serious, and I just don't ever want to jeopardize that. So, I've always trained agents like you can be there's clients for every type of agent. You don't have to worry about that. But I think you do have to know your contracts and be outstandingly ethically
Sure.
and, just operate out of a level of integrity, which I think that's what our clients expect of us.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to be the agent that's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to really look at that or get better at negotiating or better. I mean, the one thing that's beautiful about this industry is there's a low barrier to entry, right?
Right.
And it's one of the only industries where you can make the kind of money that we do.
Sure.
And create generational wealth, which is amazing.
That's right.
So when you know that, and that's like really rooted in your business plan, then I think you're like, wow, the sky's the limit, what we can do with it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And it's so funny because obviously 23 years in this industry, clean license really says who you are.
Yeah, well, I will tell you there was a little bit of a scare in my old brokerage, and I was like, oh, this is where it also let me know that as the broker, we just by nature, we are an extension of the license, right?
Yes.
So there was a snafu that happened in my office, and I was like, wow, that lets me know the gravity of this position, which is why I say when you have a great broker like yourself, that in an office is worth its weight in gold. I cannot even stress that enough, because it was like, oh my God, I could be really in jeopardy by nothing I've done personally,
Exactly.
but by something somebody else has done.
Right.
And it was probably not even intentional that they did it.
That's right.
But people make mistakes, and that happens.
Yeah.
But when you have a broker and an office where like that runs like this office, I'm blown away. It's I feel like it's how it should be run, but a lot of them are not run that way.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Awesome. So a little bit of your bio. You do a podcast.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I started, it was funny. In the entertainment industry, one of my producers that we were about to do a web show, what do they call a web series or whatever? We were doing a show, and it didn't happen. And years later, she calls me up. She goes, there is no reason why you should not be doing a podcast. Like, you need to be on that now. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I'd have stuff to say. I'm pretty comfortable on camera, so I don't really mind. And so I started a podcast called Real Estate of Mind. And you can find it on YouTube, RE State of Mind. But the YouTube channel is great. And I shot like a lot of episodes, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And so now I'm figuring out how I can do it at home, which is amazing. But the whole purpose was I wanted to empower people, especially women, to not wait for the perfect life before they start investing in real estate, right? A lot of people think like, oh, I got to have the husband, the family, and then I'll start thinking.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you've got the money and you are saving, start now. Just start now. Start as soon as you can. Get in any way you can. And so the podcast was kind of born out of that, like helping to empower women, also having guests on that helped you think outside the box about like lending practices. What do you really need to do? Most people are like, well, if I don't have 20% down, then I guess I can't play in this ball game. Absolutely 100% not true. So I would always try to bring on guests that were interested in tiny homes, ADUs, people that were real estate attorneys. When would you need a real estate attorney? Hopefully you never need a real estate attorney, but sometimes you do.
Yeah.
Interesting guests like that to try to bring a perspective about our industry to the table. That was kind of fun and always interesting. So
Amazing. How many people followed you on that?
I've got, I think, a couple thousand now, getting up there. Yeah. I mean, we are definitely, I kind of had a little bit of a break with the pandemic. So now we're just amping up content so that number should grow exponentially.
Yeah.
And then I also have a pretty big social media presence, which is pretty funny. Because again, it was one of those things, why didn't I do this like years ago? My first manager in my Beverly Hills office in Prudential in Beverly Hills, he said, oh, you should really start doing stuff on social media. And I was like, I don't really think so. That's not my bag. And stupid me, had I been doing it back then, it would have been, a really big thought. But we're getting new followers all the time, and it's wonderful. And I really just want to be thought of as a local lifestyle and neighborhood expert. So I'm not just a real estate agent. I just want people to think of me when they come to a new neighborhood and they're like, hey, I might need a plumber or a roofer, but I also might need a barber or a dog walker.
Right.
So my list is very varied with which I help my clients, and I love that.
Right. Well, one of the things that I really love about um, you is you're so natural.
Yeah.
You come across so organic, and it's like pleasant to talk to you.
Thank
You
you.
know, and it's like easy to talk to you. I feel confident and comfortable. Like, yeah, help me sell my property.
Well, here's the thing, and this is where I see our industry changing before our very eyes. Look, there are so many resources out there to find homes online, to look at photos, to get information and stats about a neighborhood, crime rates. I mean, there's so much information at our fingertips. So where does our worth and our value come in? It really comes in the authentic connection, because as great as AI is, and we are definitely utilizing it, but it can't walk into a room or a home and go, do you feel that? This feels like my home.
Right.
It can't do that. It will never be able to do that. But that's what we help clients see and visualize and help them come to whatever their dream is, right?
Right.
So I think our authenticity, along with our knowledge of the contracts, because as you know, they change every year. Like
Yeah.
it's not a static industry, right?
Right.
I am always learning. Even 23 years in, people are like, why are you going to that class? And I'm like, because I'm always learning. Like it just doesn't end.
Yeah.
So I think the more knowledge we have personally about our local expertise and what we can offer, and that authenticity is going to be eventually how people are going to be finding their agents.
Right.
Right. I mean, I think I mean, I hate to say this, it's probably going to become a little bit less about the brokerage name and more about the experience that people are buying and selling real estate with.
Yeah. I truly believe that. You know, you said a couple of things that resonates with me is, yeah, you know, the real estate industry is constantly revolving, constantly changing, and contracts are too. Twice a year, there's a big change. And guess what? June, we already have some revisions
Yep.
and some updates on some of the forms.
I saw the list already.
Yeah, and then
ready.
it's going to happen again in December. So, you know, when I started my real estate career almost 30 years ago, you know, I think it was only like 7 or 8 pages.
And on carbon.
Yeah, yeah,
Still.
yeah,
And then
exactly.
we fill it out, and here's your copy.
And
Here's my
now,
copy in the office gets copied.
and now with all of the advisories, addendums attached to the purchase agreement, and that's now, wait another 10, 15 years from now, right?
And I tell my clients, I get it. Like they think, oh, maybe I don't need an agent. I'm like, you try navigating 250 pages
That's right.
per transaction.
Right.
They're like, what? I'm like, now the contract is 26 pages, I believe.
Yeah.
It went from 3 to 26 in my career, right? So 26 pages, that's a lot.
That is a lot. That is a lot. So you were touching, and thank you for sharing AI. I wanted to kind of touch bases on that because it is definitely revolutionized on how we do real estate business,
Absolutely.
right? And it does enhance. But I also believe that you got to be very careful in how you manage that too, as well.
Yep.
Because I think people are going a little over the top on it. What's your take on that?
I think it's going to be one of our best friends. And I think as long as you understand that it will not replace the human element of like that connection with your client.
Sure.
Utilize it to help streamline the workflow process all day long.
Yeah.
Use it for that all day long. Let it help you edit things. But again, for me, like somebody said, well, you know, you could like create a AI that looks exactly like you, and you could do podcasts without you even like having to be there. And I'm like, yes. And I'm sure that I've seen agents do that. They are already doing that, like for their social media posts or whatever. And they're like, did you know that wasn't even a real person? There is still an algorithm where they can pick up whether it was not real. And I think the biggest commodity that we will eventually have is our authenticity.
Right.
So I say, use AI, get fantastic at it, helping you streamline your workforce, your process, your systems, but understand it cannot replace you.
Right.
And so I think we have to kind of make sure we have that separation, because when people look at my videos online, they're all me. Believe me, they're not all perfect and pretty. They're flawed, they're this, they're that, but that is what I also like, because
Yeah.
people then can go, oh, she's not trying to be so perfect that it's, that it's not real.
Right.
Because I don't want to ever give the impression that I'm too busy, that I can't stop and have a real conversation, take the time to really negotiate on your behalf
Right.
as a real human being.
Yeah, love it. What's your go-to AI?
Claude.
Claude. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Partly because my husband is a massive techie. He works for Capital Group, but he's just brilliant.
Yeah.
So we've been playing. I used to use ChatGPT a lot,
Right.
but I just think Claude is better for writing. It is a little more sophisticated. I still have them both, but I would say I'm leaning more towards Claude because my husband also did me such a solid. I can't even brag enough about it, but he created a program with which I could even program my own websites myself. So I am in control of my own look and my feel, and I'm not having to outsource that to a web designer. It's me. And he did that because he knows I'm not a coder. So he did the backup so that then I've got like, I literally, I can start and give some prompts during the day that I'm working on my bridge brand, which is Coastal Collective. And I do it while I'm also making my calls. I get my calls out of the way. I do my lead gen in the morning. Gary Keller was very right about that. Like the day gets away with you if you don't do that stuff.
That's right.
And there are times when it's, not as convenient, but get the calls out of the way. And then I've got the rest of the day to do listing appointments, buyer broker appointments, and then also working on, the fun stuff. And so now instead of it feeling like such a behemoth, I'm having so much fun playing with Claude and seeing what it can do. And, it's really fun.
It is. It is. That's my go-to, by the way, too.
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
Great
minds think alike.
Yeah. I started with Chat GPT, and then I transitioned into that. It's just more efficient when it comes, because I do a lot of emails and all that fun stuff. So it helps.
See, that streamlines your process, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, it really does.
Absolutely. And the fun part, you get in there and you can start to create agents, which are, people that are like, oh, if you need me to like give you a debriefing of your whole day, then I can do that for you, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So some things like that where I'm like, I could get bogged down in the minutia of the business, that can go away.
Yeah.
And then that will leave more time for me to go out and connect with people authentically, right? I'm not stuck in my office like doing busy work.
Right.
Which fortunately I have a virtual assistant that is, he's been with me now 4 years.
Amazing.
He's amazing. So
what does your virtual assistant do? Most of your
does my social media editing and stuff. Like he'll take my videos that I do raw on my iPhone or whatever. So I'll upload that to the Google Drive, which is also tied in with Gemini and also with Claude. Claude's got my permission to do that.
Yeah.
But he also does my marketing. So we created a look and a feel for, the City of Angels properties for Los Angeles, and then OC and Me. So those brands are very specific, and I've spent a lot, which is why, honestly, I've stayed with Keller Williams, because they allow you to brand. Right. Every other brokerage is about the brokerage and their look, their feel, And I just didn't want that, not after the investment that I've made. So
sure,
he'll do marketing pieces. If I've got a listing, he'll do a social media post for an open house that I've got. He does all of that stuff, keeps us organized and whatnot. So I have a stand-up meeting every morning at 8 a.m. with my team. And that's how we start the day. It's a good way to start the day.
Yeah, I love that. Toughest challenge or difficult real estate transaction you've been involved in? There's probably dozens.
Oh my God.
One that resonates immediately, like, oh, I remember this one.
Oh yeah. It was really interesting because it was so recent. And I could probably dig up stuff from the past, but the one thing that I will say, last year, I've never had any trouble selling anything ever. But last year, because of the new balcony laws, right?
Yes.
They provided a challenge, even though my condo that I was selling in Culver City, which was a very popular location, we were priced right, everything was awesome. But there were some lenders that wouldn't lend on it unless every balcony was done. And this was like an 83 unit complex. And it fell out of escrow 3 times due to some quirky thing. So I think the lesson I learned on that is lenders can really say no go, just because I was like, well, that's not a reasonable request to fix all balconies. Mine was not reg tag. Mine was fine.
Yeah.
But I got that, wow, as we know, the business changes, and so lending laws change, and they could take they could take it or leave it. So I guess what I would say on that is now going forward, knowing that that law is still out there, and there's a lot of old buildings in Los Angeles, I would now find a lender that's okay to lend on it, and I would now double app with. I would make sure anybody looking to buy my condo would not only have to, because we got down to the part where we think we're going to have to work with all cash.
Yeah.
And so I would just say, find a lender that can lend on the building and make everybody double app so that you save yourself a lot of time.
I love that. So be proactive.
Absolutely.
Find a solution. I'm a big stickler. There's a solution to every problem.
Absolutely.
And if you're in the forefront of a situation, then you'll avoid a back issue down the line where the deal falls apart because the lender is not adequately informed.
That's exactly right.
About
and another thing I would say, don't be afraid to fire a client.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I've had to do it maybe 3 times in my entire career. But if you ever feel like your client is working against you and they don't understand that you are their advocate,
Yes.
then it's time to cut it. Like I was newer in the business, and I had a client that was fighting me at every turn. I was like, you're going to need to come up 5 more grand because the agent's telling me what it's going to take to get this.
Right.
And they were like, no, I don't know. I think it's all about you want more commission. And I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, well, I guess then I don't think I'm a good fit for you. And they were like, what? And I said, yeah, I think I need to I think I will help you find another agent, but I am not the one for you. And I was like, if that's really where you think I'm coming from, then you've missed how hard I've been working. And I have worked with them for a long time, and they were not easy. Listen, not everybody's easy peasy.
Right.
But there's a difference between somebody is working against you actively. And so I was like, nope, time to cut it. And I was like, whoo, boy, that means I just created the space for like 5 more deals to come my way without.
But see, I love how you think. That's the I always tell, because there's a lot of agents that are so down and upset that the deal fell apart. It's okay.
Yeah.
Look, that gives you opportunity to go work with people that are willing to work with you.
Exactly. We even had a client that we just got them almost a full price offer, gorgeous home in the Hollywood Hills. Last second, they decided they didn't want to sell. Nothing I could do about it. And they said, we are not disappointed in you or what the job you guys did at all. Right. And I was like, and my teammate, they were so disappointed, like they were crushed. And I was like, look, I've been down this road before. You know what it was? The seller wasn't sufficiently motivated enough. Because when you have that kind of motivation on both sides, you'll make a deal.
Right.
So it also hones your skill set to go, are they really motivated, or are they just wasting my time, or what? You get better at learning how to ask those questions so that you end up saving your own time. Right. And then and it's just part of the skill set.
Love that. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your partner.
My partner is the lovely Jill Levine. She's amazing.
She is.
We were introduced together through another team leader in another, I won't say another office, but it doesn't exist anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we met, and I had during COVID, my husband got a job that moved us to Orange County.
Okay.
But I still drive to LA every week. So all my business is still here.
Yeah.
So I wanted somebody that I could work with and partner with in LA so that I could then expand my horizon and also expand into Orange County. Jill was it. Like, she was amazing. Like, she had got her license during COVID, so relatively new to the industry, but not so much now. She's almost 5 years in and doing fantastic. Got a great attitude, and she's a
really
sharp learner, and she's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And that is a classic case of somebody that is a genuine connector, but didn't realize how valuable that is in this business.
Right.
Like, just everybody knows her, loves her, and adores her. And I'm like, you can ride that all the way to the bank. Now we just got to add the skill set of like how to like log that and track that and turn that into lead gen, because that is your sphere of influence is your biggest gold mine. But most people are just not trained to. They're like, well, I just don't want to think I'm just a real estate agent bugging them. And I'm like, no, that's your own mindset. Get that out the window. Are you there? Are you being of service? Are you offering them something? Maybe they're not going to buy today, but if you're there and you're being of service to them, then down the line, they'll think of you.
Absolutely. Last thought.
Yes.
what does 2026 look for you?
Mm,
We're halfway through the year.
yep.
Can't believe how quick.
Oh my God.
year
It's
went.
been a catty-wonk start, but I can tell you what it's done is it's kind of forced me to leverage my own skill set in a way that I haven't before. I get kind of like, okay, I got goals I want to do, clients and da da da. And so what it's done is it actually made me think outside the box about bridging my two brands and leveraging myself in a way that I haven't before. There's only one of me, right? And so I can't be everywhere and everything, but with the help of AI, I'm like, all right, I've got now 23 years behind me. How can I leverage myself? So let's think outside the box so that my business is recession proof, AI proof, weather proof, disaster proof,
Everything.
everything. Yeah. So I think the rest of 2026 looks like me expanding in that area and just really kicking ass and taking names.
Love it. Jamie, thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
You are so amazing. Thank you for sharing all of your experience, thoughts, and the vision that you have for your business.
My pleasure. I'm always happy to share. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. With that concludes our Producers Club. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being on the call, and we'll see you on the next one. Awesome.
Awesome. That was fun.
That was great.
Yeah,
It
good.
went super quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're so natural.
Oh, thank you. And it's funny because like I was filming like hour long